everyone. Welcome to the VarsityWA Midweek Podcast. I'm Todd Milles, your host. We're only going to have one segment this week, but it's a pretty special one. We have invited Stephen and Aylen Garnett from Walla Walla for a combined interview. If you don't know that name, you should. Aylen Garnett is the state of Washington's leading scorer in boys basketball as an 8th grader at Touchet High School. The Redhawks are one game away from making the Class 1B state tournament for the first time in school history. They will play Selkirk on Friday night for a chance to go to the regional playoffs. Stick around. Welcome to the first segment of the VarsityWA Midweek Podcast. I'm Todd Milles, your host. I am really looking forward to talking to these two. And even though they're 5 million miles away in the great city of Walla Walla, Stephen and Aylen Garnett. Stephen Garnett, a longtime assistant coach at Whitman College, the trainer in town if you want to know how to play basketball. And his son, Aylen Garnett, 8th grader at Touchet. Touchet is one game away from reaching the WIAA playoffs for the first time in school history. But before we get into any of that school stuff, I'm curious, Aylen. Tell me at what age did you know that you had some shooting ability? Because your dad's told me a few stories about, the breakaway rim. You didn't want to dunk. You wanted to shoot. But when did you know you had some shooting skill?
I figured out when I was like 4th grade, I could really shoot the ball. So, once I started figuring that out, I always stuck with it. Then I never stopped. I just had to keep going with it.
So what is your day of training like for shooting the basketball? Tell people how many shots you take a day. What's the variance? Are you taking mid-range? Are you taking threes? Are you taking half-court shots? How far are you going back? Like what's a regular day in the shooting life of Aylen Garnett?
Yeah, we usually start off with mid-range, so about probably 200 or 300 shots in the mid-range, and then for three, usually go 100 shots beyond the arc, off the dribble, catch and shoot. We balance that out through the day, so we get 300 probably in the morning. And then at lunchtime, if I have time, and then at nighttime.
Any one-on-ones with your dad? Your dad is a Division I basketball player.
He's scared. He's scared now, so he don't want to play me no more. So
I could tell in his laughter he doesn't want any of that, especially in season. And it looks like no.
He has definitely past a lot of what I thought that I was able to do when I was at his age. I think, last time that we played was probably about a year ago, and he's got a pretty good hesitation that he doesn't use a whole lot when he's playing basketball that I wish he would, because he had me jumping all over the place. I thought he was going to shoot it, and he's driving to the basket, shooting layups. But it's just been really kind of fun, just like watching him grow and just still really just like the journey of the player that he is wanting to become. That part has been really fun watching.
Yeah, some of your big scoring games, Aylen, as an 8th grader, you've been getting praise all around the state. I know Jamal Crawford has reached out to you through social media. I don't know if a whole lot of folks know that you played with JJ Crawford, Jamal's son, in Rotary. What was that experience like for you last summer?
He's a great player. Just watching him play, I look up to him a lot when he's playing. He's a great player. And his dad too. Who doesn't know JJ? Who doesn't know Jamal Crawford? That's one of the best. That's probably the best basketball player we have around this area. So it's just cool just to be on the same court and getting coached by him. It's just cool.
Yeah, and he provides a lot of insight. He really, at least the few times that we've had a chance to interact when Aylen's had games and stuff. Jamal's been really, really insightful. Just when he, pulls them off to the side, and again, Aylen has so much respect for him that it's really cool to hear somebody who has achieved the things that Jamal has to be able to come back and then, kind of pour some some knowledge or pour some wisdom into, and they're really just taking the time to do it. I mean, he doesn't have to do that, but the fact that he does, we're so fortunate enough for just to be able to just have people like that in our village, and that part's really fun.
I'm curious, what were your guys' expectations when you came to 1B basketball at Touchet?
Do you want me to? Yeah. So, at the beginning, when the schedule came out there first, we got the schedule. I think it had to be around, I don't know. I know we were in Seattle for a basketball tournament. So I don't know if this was in July. It might have been August. We were there for something in basketball. Matter of fact, no, it was the Made Hoops camp. I'm sorry. It was in August for Made Hoops camp. And we saw the schedule, and I was looking at some of the opponents, and I remember just kind of telling Aylen, I said, I would be surprised if you guys win more than 6 games. It wasn't. It was never about the wins and doing all that. It was just more so a chance for him to be able to play some varsity basketball before he got to high school. And really, we were going to use all these reps against older kids and stuff to get him ready for junior EYBL, which starts in March. So, there was never any other goal other than like, let's go play. Let's go have some fun with this. I remember telling his mom, it's like, if he can average 15, 20 points a game, we would consider that a success, and we'd be happy with that. And I don't know, like the rest of it has just been, it's just been him. I don't know where he's getting it all from, but he plays with such a high level of confidence, and he really believes in himself. And when he goes out there and playing, you can really see that when he plays. And so, we thought 5 or 6 wins, and now I think that they're at 16 wins, which is even crazy when you say that. Touchet just historically just hasn't been really good, and so to be able to have him just kind of go into a situation like that where, where everybody's against you and you're at the bottom and people think that you can't get any better. And then to watch them grow over the course of the season has been really, that part has been really fun to watch.
Aylen, contrast what it's like, some of the gymnasiums, the big arenas that you played in with Rotary during the summer in some of the bigger cities across the country. Contrast that to playing in a packed house in Palouse or DeSales or Waitsburg or Dayton. I imagine that they're probably very opposite.
Yeah. I mean, for AAU, it's a lot different. There's 50 games going on at the same time. And, everyone's not just going to watch the game. Like, there's going to be people that are going to watch, but they're not going to stay for the whole game. So, but for high school, it's over here. Like, it's just everyone's there to watch us play. It's just packed out, all eyes. Like, if you mess up, it's all on you. So, it's not pressure. It's just, this is the love of the game, really. It's just the game giving you, I don't know. It's literally all eyes on you, really.
Well, when did you notice that the crowds were getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger?
After our first conference game, we played Riverside Christian. And even our first home game, it was packed. Like it was pretty packed. And then after that, we had our next home game. I think it was against Waitsburg. Mm-hmm. And it was packed. Like it was crazy. Like then after that, we started getting more and more, and then people started the standing rooms. There was no seats no more. It was standing rooms. So right. It was just cool.
And it was really fun just seeing the community as well there too, just for them to be able to come out and show as much support as they did. I know I shared this with you before, but after the first game against Riverside, we lost to them by 1 point. It was a conference game. And, we had a shot to win it at the end. We did hit it. Normally, you'd hear oohs and ahs and, groans and things like that at the end of the game. And the Touchet fans were just so excited to be able to see the kids compete and actually put themselves in a position to where they had a chance to maybe win it at the end and stuff that, they were standing up and they were clapping and everything. It was a different feel. So you knew that something was going to be special. And then after that, it just, kind of is just snowballed into, everywhere that we go and we get a chance to watch them play. There's just, there's a lot of people that are coming to watch us play, which is really fun. I just always wonder, if there's pressure on him or not, or when he sees it, but it's like as soon as the game starts, he just kind of, he kind of zones into the game and he just focuses on what he's got to do. And that's just play his game. And it's been, we're 24 games into the season, I think now. And it's just been fun watching him try to figure things out at each game. So
45 points, 8 points, 2 50-point triple doubles. I mean, I don't want to jinx you, Aylen, because you may not do that again. But if you continue to do that this year, you might be the greatest basketball player in the whole wide world, man. So, I mean, insane game after insane game. Did you ever just kind of look at your dad and go, man, what are we doing here?
I mean, after I had my first 50-point game, I mean, it was cool in the moment, but we had another game the next day, and it was a winnable. We had to win, must-win game. So I enjoyed the moment for a day, and then we had to go to practice and get ready for Riverside again. So, I mean, it's all in the moment. You can enjoy it in the moment, but I mean, you got next day. Like next day, you might not score 50. You might have 26. Like, so I mean, it was cool in the moment, but we just gotta keep pushing. Really.
I would be. I need to ask you about last week. I mean, the clip is the 20 seconds, probably the greatest 20 seconds of Touchet basketball in the history of the school. The clip has made its way on social media. Hundreds of thousands of views. Take me through the comeback against Sunnyside Christian, and to kind of set the stage. You guys are down 7 points with 20 seconds to go, and you're bringing the ball up. Explain the chaos that happened over the next 20 seconds, because we heard your dad's commentary from the stand.
Yeah.
But what was that like playing in it, Aylen?
I mean, it was just like in that moment, I didn't have words for it. Like we drew up a play in timeout. It was like, we're going to set a screen. I'm going to go to half court. They're going to throw it. I'm just going to shoot the three, which we did exactly what happened. And I hit the three, and then I was like, okay, it's going to be interesting. And then I got the steal, and I was like, I made the layup, and I was like, all right, we just got to play defense. And then Kyler got the steal, and I was like, oh, shoot, like we got a chance to actually win this game. And then he gave it to Hudson. Hudson gave it to me, and I bounced out and then threw it to Kyler. And then he saw he was wide open, and I was like, well, he's got to shoot it. And when he shot it and he made it, I was like, that's crazy. Like in my head, I didn't even know what to think. I was running all over the court. I was screaming. Like it was just a moment that I'll never forget. It was loud. Like my ears were, I could hear everything. Like it was just loud in there.
I want to ask you, because nobody would have blamed you. You were double teamed. They were going to make it really hard for you to win the game with your shot. And you made the basketball play. And in making that basketball play, you're going to live or die with somebody else making a shot. I wanted to ask you, because nobody would have blamed you if you'd taken the shot, but your sense to make the good basketball play, where does that come from?
I mean, it just comes from like the confidence I have in that practice. I mean, we work on that type of stuff, like late game situation, like clock's low, I got to pass it because they're not going to double team. So, I mean, in that moment, I trusted him to make that shot with all marbles in line. Like, I just trusted him. So, I mean, and he made it. So, I mean, any other time I'm double teaming, I can kick it to him. My hopes are on him, really.
What did you think of your dad's commentary from the stands? We won't repeat what he said, but anybody that has a Twitter account can probably find it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you got to chill on that one.
I didn't even know. It was just kind of one of those. It was just the same utterance of the same where there was really no other way to describe it. I mean, it was, when he first hit, being down 7, again, I played enough basketball games. You're thinking he's going to hit I knew he was going to get a chance to get a shot. I'm thinking go to the rim, maybe try to foul, and then play the free throw game. But if they hit free throws, and obviously, that's not going to work to your favor. But knowing him, I was like, he might take the shot. And it's like once he hit the 3, you're still like, well, still a 4-point game. Then when one of the things that, I'm not going to talk too much about what he does, but he was actually hiding behind one of his players when they were inbound the ball, and then he jumped out and got the bucket. And then all of a sudden it was a 2-point game, and you're like, wait a minute, just like you said. And then once he hit the shot, I mean, I remember, his mom, Alexis, she was like, wait, like what happened? And, there was other people, it happened so fast that even like, if you look at the film, I think it's either Kyler or I think Kyler was so locked in the game. I think he was still trying to get a defensive stop. And then all of a sudden you see his dad, Scott Pumphrey, the coach, start running around in the gym, and I think that's when it kind of hit that. I was like, oh, wait a minute, like we won the game, and it was just, again, like the roar of the crowd and everything. It was one of those really cool moments. It's one of those lessons that you teach her too, about just like never giving up, playing till there's zeros on the clock, because you never know what could happen. Even though for the most part, being down 7, you don't usually get those situations. But I mean, Reggie Miller's done something like that before. We've seen Tracy McGrady do something like that before. Now we see the Touchet Redhawks. I mean, it can happen, but it's it's like when it does, it's a pretty cool moment. It really is.
Aylen, you've got one team that you have to get by to get to the state playoffs for the first time with this school. Give me the excitement level right now this week in practice, and how are you guys balancing that about just kind of focusing on the task at hand and the opponent at hand and getting the job done, and then worrying about going to regionals?
Yeah, I mean, we're just so focused on practice right now that we've been watching a lot of film. We've been running their plays. We have their playbook down more than we have our playbook down. So, I think this game is going to be good for us. This should be a statement game, because really, we've had the toughest schedule probably in the whole 1B conference, like out of everybody. So, I mean, we're not worried at all. Like, we're just going to come in there and handle business for sure. So,
how much fun both of you guys having right now? I mean, your dad is watching more film of 1B schools than anybody I know. Right. You just said you knew the playbook of your opponent as well as your own. I mean, it seems like you guys are all in right now on what happens over the next few weeks.
No, yeah, for sure, yeah.
Just being dialed in, and just again, just talking with you before, I really had no idea about how many really good teams that they actually had at the 1B level. So that's been kind of fun, educating myself on the other teams and like the different regions and stuff, just sitting out there and kind of seeing there are some there are some monster type teams that are in 1B. It's not as I don't know what everybody else's thought is about 1B across the state and stuff, but they got some kids that can play. I mean, they're just smaller schools just because they're smaller towns, but it doesn't mean that the talent is that much different. I mean, kids are still going to work hard. That Garfield Palouse team that we played twice last week, they were every bit of as good as a number one team on that side as I think that we've seen. I mean, they played hard, they executed hard, they had a crowd. I mean, they had guys. I mean, we have seen some really, really good teams. And then plus, Liberty Christian and DeSales and Sunnyside Christian and all those ones that are in our conference, we get we're fortunate that we're able to play against so many top teams that are all probably, going to be teams that are going to make the state tournament. So again, I would like to think that they probably feel like that they're prepared or at least a lot more prepared than, if they were maybe at another, district that wasn't as strong and stuff. And so it's, again, just really just cool, just kind of just like watching them grow. And now it's, now we're back to those, everybody's at 0-0, and we'll see what happens on Friday. And hopefully, they can make enough plays and stay together, and kind of fight on the road and do some stuff and put themselves in a position to win the game at the end.
The state's leading scorer, Aylen Garnett, over 40 points a game. Was that well over 45 points a game for much of the year? Yes, I'm saying that number correctly, folks. It's over 45 points for much of the year. His father, Stephen Garnett, the premier trainer in the greater Walla Walla area. Gentlemen, thank you for joining the podcast. Best of luck with the most important game of the season this weekend, and most importantly, stamping that reservation in Spokane, which I know the whole town of Touchet would be crazy over.
Yeah, that's right. That's true. Thank you so much, Todd.
Thank you.
This podcast is brought to you by Varsity Washington, your source for high school sports news, rankings, and more around the state of Washington. You can listen to new episodes of the VarsityWA Podcast weekly on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. And for more from VarsityWA, visit us at VarsityWANews.com and subscribe for daily posts covering the high school sports landscape around the state. A special thank you to our guests on this episode and to Carl Johnson and Matt Bueller of the Portland-based band Edith and Axon for providing the music you hear at the beginning and end of this podcast each week. You can find the band on Instagram at Edith Axon Official. Thank you to our listeners for tuning in to the VarsityWA Podcast. For producer Lauren Smith, I'm your host, Todd Milles. We will be back next week.